Hi folks, this is Jackie Bushman of Buckmasters. Thanks so much for renewing your membership to the Buckmasters. If you're not a member of the Buckmasters, look for our membership spot inside this video. Hey, our first stop is the beautiful state of Idaho. Hey, I hope you enjoy the tape.
The Buckmasters Whitetail magazine with Jackie Bushman is brought to you by your local Yamaha dealer, who invites you to see their exciting line of motorcycles and ATVs. Liberty rugged outdoor gear, worth hunting for, the leader in outdoor apparel. Bill Jordan's Realtree, America's most versatile camo pattern. Wellington Outdoors, the winning combination of hunting scents and lures. Federal Premium Ammunition for the shot of a lifetime. PSE, makers of the finest bow hunting equipment in the world. And Nikon Sport Optics. You'll never see things quite the same again. This is the third year that Buckmasters has visited the beautiful state of Idaho. This week, Jackie Bushman is accompanied by Buckmasters Whitetail magazine editor Russell Thornberry on a combination whitetail and elk hunt. Let's join Jackie, Russell, and outfitter Tim Craig of Boulder Creek Outfitters.
All right, Russ. Try it one more time. Good shot. Looks like you're ready. Looks like you're ready.
Hello, Jackie.
Tim, what's happening, man?
Not much. How about doing yourself?
Oh, just getting off the plane. Good to see you. This is Russell Thornberry.
Russell, my pleasure.
Mine as well.
All right, my man. First time out bow hunting here in Idaho. What's the scoop?
Well, we've got several elk and several whitetail coming in, feeding on these alfalfa fields and fruit trees. The apple trees mainly, Jackie.
Apples? Okay.
Apples,
It's
yeah.
the first time I've ever had a chance to hunt around that.
The stand location set up right again in the field where they're coming out of the timber into the alfalfa, and same with the apples.
Okay.
So we're going to try to get in there. And
So the elk and the whitetail are basically feeding the same place?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. And hopefully to get a little bugling on the elk. You know,
Okay.
it's just a little bit early. They're doing a little talking, but we need some cool weather here. That'll help a lot.
All right, well, we both tuned our bows, you know, for elk and whitetail. A little bit higher end on our speed for our arrows. So, all right, Russ is all tuned in. I need to shoot a couple more times. My sight was a little messed up when I got off the plane. So let me shoot one more time, and then if we can rock and roll and go down there and see where you got all these stands placed on the alfalfa
Okay,
fields.
Jackie.
Okay.
Let's see if I can do any good here. All right, let's see if I can get this thing in one time.
Lifetime, Jack. Don't blow it.
A lot of pressure here.
Yes, sir. Big bull elk. Don't have many in Alabama.
I need a left-handed one, too.
Ooh,
Excellent.
so nice.
Excellent, Jackie.
Finally,
Live with that,
finally.
Let's get loaded up, Jackie. Let's get in a full wheeler and get up there in those locations and get ready for the evening.
Okay, apples and alfalfa. I get the apple.
You get the you get the alfalfa. You get the alfalfa.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
All
let's
right.
go.
I thought you said that was just a mild hill we were going to walk up.
Oh, just a gentle little gradual incline there. I mean, look at that, Jackie. Yeah, what a view, though. Huh? Well worth it, isn't it?
Beautiful.
Beautiful spot. This nice old couch here. This
Yeah, I
is
was wondering
Bud.
what that was.
Bud, my neighbor, he sits up here every night and
Really?
enjoys the view and watches those bucks come into the apple tree.
I'll tell you what.
It's a $1 million view.
Unbelievable. I tell you, when God made North America, I believe this was his first stop.
He sure did a fine job, didn't he?
Wow. Wow.
Jackie, here comes Al. He's been putting the tree stands up for us.
Oh, okay. I sent you a bunch of them now.
Well, we got them all out, too, Jackie.
So Al's been the man to put all the trees
Yes,
up.
he's been the busy guy.
There he is.
There he is, Al. Jackie Bushman, Al Jones.
My pleasure,
What's
Jackie.
happening? Good to see
We've
you.
been out setting stands this morning.
Good, good. You got ours set up here in the orchard?
Yeah, we got right here in the pine tree the fixed position stand
Oh,
there
good.
where you wanted it, and where Tim and I discussed.
All right, good deal. I see you got the tree climbing stand. You going to take that over the other hill with us?
Yeah, that's correct. We're going to take them up there by the pear tree. We got a pear tree and an apple tree they've been coming to up there in the ridge.
Okay.
And 3 real nice bucks coming in there.
All right,
Well,
good
great.
deal. Well, if you'll go do that, I'd like to go down here and check out the stands and make sure they're all right.
Let's do that.
Okay, Al,
you
we'll see
later,
you back
Al.
at the house.
Yeah, Jackie, this is one of the fields that the deer have been coming in and feeding on, the alfalfa and oats, and they usually come down off these ridge tops here. They bed on the backside in that brush and come down here and
Oh,
feed
so
along
there's some
these.
heavy timber on the other side of the hill here?
Yeah, timber and thick brush, and then they come on down, they feed along these fields on their way into the apple trees down over the hill here.
Okay. This is just one of a few locations
Oh,
you got
yeah,
set
we've got
up.
several of them up, Jackie. This is one of the better ones. We got the one lone apple tree is all down here, but
Okay.
they've been coming here pretty regular.
Let's take a look at the stand and everything. But
Okay.
most everything's a combination of alfalfa and apples, right?
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Jackie, here's one of your stand locations, right up in there.
Yeah.
There's one of my favorite spots here. They've been really coming in here on a regular basis in the evening. You can see the nice ripe apples on the tree there. They're falling off pretty good
Yeah.
now.
It's pretty steep right here.
Yeah, it is. You got to kind of be careful.
Look at those red apples.
Aren't they some beauties, Jackie? This is, you can see why they come in here every night to feed on these buggers, huh?
Good.
Take a look at one of them, Jackie. That nice.
Okay.
You have that for lunch for
Old
later.
custom, they say if you try the apples, you'll get a deer. So
Them good?
good. The worm's good there.
Yeah. Got the wrong one, did I?
I tell you what, though, I've always heard that when they're eating alfalfa, and once the fruit starts dropping, this is where they come.
Oh yeah, they just switch just like that. They got the best of both worlds.
Where's my stand?
Over here, Jackie. Right up here in this pine tree here. Gives you a nice, good, close shot.
Oh yeah, you got both of them. Got my camera stand and my stand.
Yes, sir.
You know, looking at the base of the tree, that's probably 60 feet up there. But with the terrain being what it is really only 25 feet above the shot here.
Yeah, it's kind of hillside in here. It's a little steep.
See all the apples.
Yeah, they've been picking them up every
Look at
night.
them where they're, pawing the ground right there.
Yeah,
The deer dropping.
yeah, they're working it pretty strong.
Well, Al did a good job there.
He did. Fine job.
Let's go back.
Let's go
Like
see
these
them.
apples. I'm gonna get some lunch and maybe we can go out this afternoon.
Okay.
These apples are good. We got big worms in these apples up here, different than the ones we got in Alabama.
No, sir. I won't go in those woods. Trails are too tight, twisted. And they say some kind of crazy wolf roams in there. All I know is I hear howling noises all hours of the day and night.
Introducing the new Timberwolf 4x4 from Yamaha. When you're in a tight spot that screams for four-wheel drive, just cry wolf.
You hear that? That sound will curl your hair.
Hi, this is Jackie Bushman, the Buckmaster. Two words that are always important to every hunter are comfort and camouflage. And two great products from Walmart provide both at great prices. These Liberty Realtree overalls feature a handy bib pocket and are reinforced at points of stress. And these Liberty Realtree 6-pocket pants with adjustable side tab and drawstring cuffs are designed for a perfect fit. They're both made right here in the USA. Remember, quality products you need for a great hunting season are available at Walmart. Always.
To this point, Jackie and Russ haven't had much success as far as their elk hunt is concerned. They decide to concentrate on the elusive Idaho whitetail. The greatest sense of a whitetail is his sense of smell. To get close enough to take a buck with a bow, it's a good idea to try to cover your scent. Before every hunt, Jackie uses a scent eliminator spray and cover scent to mask the human odor. The next morning, Russell Thornberry chooses to hunt an area that has a very full pear tree nearby. Russell has some does and fawns come in the area almost immediately after getting into his stand. Then a small rack buck emerges near the pear tree. Soon after, a good buck comes in, providing Russell with a clean shot. Russell, in his excitement, put the wrong sight pin on the buck and overshot him. Meanwhile, Jackie and cameraman Pat Gregory are hunting near a group of apple trees. They too have some whitetails come into the area soon after setting up. This nub buck comes up to within only a few feet of Jackie. Following close behind the nub buck, a small rack buck comes into the area. The buck watches intently as a group of does and fawns feed under the apple tree. Then suddenly the wind direction changes and blows Jackie's scent right toward the buck. The buck, however, doesn't leave immediately. He seems more curious than scared.
Smell me again. The wind changed to the south-southeast. That little buck and the other deer right in front of it, they were making a beeline right there to the apples. But they knew something was fishing. That's just part of deer hunting, but that just goes to show you that's a little rack buck right there. What a keen sense of smell he has. And we've had a lot of activity this morning. We're gonna sit here a little bit longer, maybe another rack buck will come up.
A group of does and fawns come through the area later in the morning, and after feeding on apples, disappeared over the hilltop. Then later, another rack buck paid Jackie a visit, but he was well out of bow range.
Hey, Jack. See anything? Man, these hills are getting me. Yeah, I had a doe and I had a small little 6-point come up and just caught wind of me.
Yeah?
Yeah, got me pretty good.
Not too bad.
You doing any good?
A couple of does.
Does. See anything else? Early now, this was real early.
Let me see. Ooh, real early. Ooh, might have been another deer in here somewhere.
Yeah.
Real early.
Oh, buddy, old pal. You probably don't know that, but I'm only about 150 yards from that big cedar tree down there.
Tell me you can't see it.
Oh, man, it was about 6:30, light.
Oh, yeah, I remember what you're talking about.
There's some animals down there.
Yeah.
I don't know, horns about like that, something like that.
That 8 points, I believe it was.
It was close to it. And all of a sudden, I heard this big whack.
Yeah.
And these deer scatter. And that
I
wouldn't
just
happen to be
took
you.
a practice shot in case a real big one came in.
Oh, okay. You know, I was kind of coming around that corner right there. I saw some orange fletchings. Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Yes, there was.
Buddy.
Yeah, just a pretty good shot, I'd say.
Yeah, 25 yards. That could classify Pope and Young pear tree there.
Yeah, well, it's
Well.
So you want to hear the whole story, I suppose. Of course, if you saw it, I don't need to tell you.
Well, I kind of watched it. It was one of those classic shots. I was proud to get a chance to watch you there.
Yeah, thanks, Jack.
Robin Hood would have been proud of you. Here, I know you need some multipliers
Yeah,
to
here,
get
hold this
that.
thing. Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
it
that's all
happened.
made my morning.
Well, that was a good little buck too, from what I could see.
Yes,
Good little
I know
acorn.
all about how good it was.
That happens in bow hunting, old buddy, old pal. Those pliers will pull it out. There you go. Well, we'll save that arrow. We'll just put it on a certain end so we'll know where it is, and we'll put that kind of in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
there.
Hall of Shame, I think is what we're saying.
Yeah, but that's, I'll remember that later on in the hunt.
Yes,
Kinda
I'll
put
remember
that
it the
one
rest of my life, I'm sure.
Well, let's head on back to the truck. Hey, Tim, thanks for the hospitality.
Thank you. Enjoyed it very much.
It was
Coming
great.
back, my pleasure. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
It was great. Well, folks, that does it for this week. Thanks for tuning in. If you get a chance this fall, take your family and friends out hunting. Hunt safe, hunt ethically. And remember, deer hunting has a name, Buckmasters. For Tim Craig and Mopey Thornberry, I'm Jackie Bushman. We'll see you next week right here on the Buckmasters.
Host facilities for the Buckmasters were provided by Boulder Creek Outfitters. For information on whitetail, mule deer, elk, or black bear hunts, call Tim Craig at 208-486-6232.
Our next trip is back to my home state, Alabama, where we'll be bow hunting. I get a 6-point buck in this trip, but we're going to show you from A to Z how we got this particular buck.
Cold this morning. All right, folks. Well, this is where we're going to start. We're going to take you through all the steps that made this a successful bow hunt this morning. This right here is a clover and wheat and rye field, and we're going to start right here. You can see the wheat and the rye and the clover is just coming up. We just planted this about 3 or 4 weeks ago. But this is an afternoon stand and a morning stand. We happen to get the deer in the morning, but I'm going to show you how all the scouting pays, whether it's a morning or afternoon stand. Now, we're going to move right here, and we're going to go over here in the hardwood bottom. I'm going to show you some white oak acorns and some border fences. That's what's helped me in my scouting and made me lucky this morning on getting this deer. All right, let's go over here, and let's continue our scouting. All right, now I'm leaving our clover field, and now I'm entering our hardwoods right here, and you can see this ridge drops off pretty steep. And the next part of my scouting is I'm going to be looking for acorns. And this time of the year, I'm looking for the white oak acorns. That's what the deer prefer the most, and when they're dropping, they're going to go to those first. All right, let's see if we can ease down here. Also, we got some dogwoods. They love to eat on dogwood leaves. And when we get down here, we got a border fence down here, and that'll be our next. But let's show you what a white oak acorn looks like, because all this is going to fit into this puzzle. As I've been making my way down to my white oak trees, this even gives me even more confidence. You know, finding a fresh buckrow. You can tell this deer right here has been hitting this tree pretty good. So I know there's deer in the area, but when you get this sign, you know bucks are in the area. But with a bow and arrow, in Alabama, you can take a doe with a bow and arrow or a buck. So this is right here in the middle of these white oaks. Come on down here and let me show you what a white oak tree looks like and what the acorn looks like also. All right, let's see if we can find us some white oak acorns right under this tree right here. Here's some right here. All right, that's what I'm looking for. See how big the acorn is? And white oaks are pretty much predominant all over the United States. But, you know, if you don't have these, be looking for the other, the water, the willow oak. Find out from your local biologist, you know, what acorns are dropping and what times they're dropping. And like this particular tree right here, it's dropping this year, but it might not drop next year. So you have to change your stand locations depending on when your acorns are dropping. Also, the leaf has rounded lobes, so be looking for that. This is a size acorn. But if you do have white oaks, the whitetails will go to these first when they're dropping. They have less tannic acid in them. That means they're a lot sweeter than the other acorns. All right, come on, let's look at what a white oak looks like. The most distinguishing characteristic of a white oak is its whitish, grayish bark. It's kind of scaly, kind of peels off.
See that? That's what a white oak acorn tree looks like. And that's what I'm always looking for first in the early part of bow season. Okay, now let's go to the other piece of the puzzle, and that's finding fences. When you have fences on your property that you're hunting, that is one of the most distinguishing characteristics on finding sign, because this is going to tell you where the deer are coming from and where they're going. Let's go see if we can find a fence over here. We're looking for hair on the fence. All right, this is our next piece of our scouting puzzle, and that's fences. As you can see right here, I have two fences. The old rusty fence in the back is the old hog wire fence. You can see how it's all crisscrossed with the wire, makes it almost impossible for the deer to come through it. This right here is a brand new fence they put up, and as you can see, it's almost impossible for the deer to come through it. So what I'm looking for, as you'll see right up here, is I'm looking for a big hole in the fence so the deer can come to and from the area I'm hunting. Come on, if you'll follow me, we'll show you what I found. And this led to everything, where I put my tree stand, the whole 9 yards. But if you'll walk your fences, and I did this, I walked all the way down, all the way to the end of this fence, I walked all the way back up the fence, and I'm always looking for holes in the fence or hair in the fence. Okay. Now this is what I found right here. You can see this. This is a tremendous hole through this fence, thanks to this tree falling right here. And as you can see, on the other side of this tree right here, the fence picks right back up, and there's no more holes in the fence. So this gives me a great clue right here with the trail coming through here. And if you'll come with me right here, I'll show you the briars. So they can stay in this thicket right here. It's very thick, and they don't have to be out in the open at all. They can come right down this trail right here, and they can come right through these briars. It's almost like a tunnel of briars. And that's what whitetail bucks love especially. They can stay in these thickets. They can walk all times of the day. Did you see this right here? All right, what we'll do is we'll go get on the other side of this, because I can't crawl through it. It's so thick, and we're going to show you where I put my tree stand. Ooh, ow. Boy, these briars on this tunnel, they'll get you. We call these whoa here briars in the south. That means when one gets you, you whoa right here. Ow. All right. Y'all know what I'm talking about if you've been stuck by the briars. But this is what deer love to travel through. All right, now, here's another piece of this puzzle. All right, this is a major trail that's running on the edge of this clear cut right here that's coming out of the hardwoods, which were where the white oaks were, okay? This trail borders right here and intersects the trail coming from the hole in the fence right here. That's what I'm looking for. So when I can find two major trails intersecting, then I look for the perfect tree. All right, now we're going to take a look at our tree right up here. And this is a white oak tree that's about 20 yards from the intersecting trails. I'm counting on my shot being either right here as the buck's coming from the hardwoods, or I'm expecting it to be right here, the deer coming through the fence. So I've set my tree stand up right here that I can get a 20-yard shot on either trail. So let's take a look at the tree right here. All right, this happens to be a white oak tree also. But if you'll go up the tree right there, and you can see, you'll see two of our tree stands. The lowest one is mine, and the one right above mine is my cameraman, Pat. You'll also notice how I leave some of the limbs up in front of the stands. That gives you plenty of cover. You'll also notice another tree right in front of the stands right there. Now that helps me in many ways. If I'm anticipating the deer coming from the hardwoods, I can see the deer coming. It gives me a chance to stand up. It also gives me a chance to draw my bow so the deer won't see you. Now you think about it. You can see the deer walking. Well, they can also see you moving. And there's an old myth that deer don't look up. Well, that's false, because deer do look up. They look up all the time. All right, so I found what I call the perfect tree. Okay, we got our steps up. We're 25, 30 feet up. All right, I don't mind getting up that high. If you don't like getting up that high, don't do it. Other thing is, I always put on my safety belt. Once I get in that tree stand, I always put on my safety belt. That's one of the most important safety tips there is. Always put your safety belt on. Okay, now if I forgot to tell you this concerning the fences over there, let me go back over that. A lot of times you might not have a tree that falls down over the fence, but look for hair on the fence when you're scouting, okay? Look on the barbs. You're going to see the back hair of a whitetail, which is brown. Take that hair off, come back a couple of days. If there's hair on the fence, you know that's a major trail where they're coming under the fence. Okay, now, before I go hunting, this morning we stopped and got some gas. I always put on an odor repellent. All right, I cover myself, I cover my cameraman, because, you know, it's different out there. We've got 2 people out there, so we got double the scent, double the movement. All right, as far as the cover scent, I'm using the Red Fox. All right, and that covers my scent. I put this on my boots. I also put a little bit on the brim of my hat and on my shoulders, because where your scent is escaping is around your head and under your arms and where your feet are. So I take care of that. All right, now that's a lot of pieces of the puzzle right there. That's all the scouting we did, and that to me is the most fun, because you're out here trying to trick the deer. You're trying to figure out where they are and where they're going to come. All right, another important point is the wind direction. Probably of all the pieces of the puzzle, this is the most important. Okay, north is this way, south is this way, okay, west and east. I will not hunt this stand on a south, southeast, southwest wind, because that's going to be blowing back in the bedding area where I think the deer are coming from. I will hunt this stand on a north or northwest wind. And the first thing I do in the morning is I get up and I look at the radar on the weather channel, and it tells me which way the wind is blowing. That'll dictate to me which stand I'm going to hunt this morning, okay? Happened to be north-northwest wind, I came to this spot. And as it worked out, as you'll see, we got a nice buck, and it was because we put all the pieces of the puzzle together.
Now introducing Realtree's new all-purpose gray camouflage. Look closely. This is a test. How many hunters in Realtree's all-purpose gray camo do you see? Let me give you a hint. There are 4 different hunters in the picture. Give up? Here they are. 1, 2, 3, 4. But don't worry. They can't see you either. Ask for Realtree All-Purpose at your sporting goods dealer.
Hi folks, this is Jackie Bushman, the Buckmaster. For you folks out there that only get a chance to hunt 1 or 2 days, the fine folks at Wellington have a new product for you. It's a Hunter's Trail Pack. The pack includes 1/4-ounce bottles of Tink's No. 69 Doe and Rut Buck Lure, Bandit Coon Cover Scent, and Tink's Trophy Buck Urine. Plus, you'll receive a Hunter's Guide series. So when you're headed out on that last-minute hunt, stop by your local dealer and pick you up a Hunter's Trail Pack from Wellington Outdoors.
Soon after daylight, a small buck appears just across the briars on the trail that crosses the fence. Another small buck makes his way down the trail that goes right by the tree stands. An encouraging sign for Jackie. The deer were doing exactly what he thought they would do after scouting the area. A doe comes in, right under the fence where the fallen tree created the gap. Another small buck appears on the same trail as the doe. A lot of deer this morning, but so far nothing large enough for Jackie to take today. With perfect wind conditions, all the deer in the area feed normally, totally unaware of Jackie's presence. Then to Jackie's left, a nice 6-point buck appears, coming down the trail that should provide a clear 20-yard shot. Though the camera doesn't have a clear shot at the buck, Jackie does, and he makes one good shot.
Look at this deer right here. Ah, oh, what a deer. Huh. I'll tell you what, folks, y'all been watching us for 4 or 5 years now, and you know how frustrating it is as far as us getting deer with a bow and arrow. I've had my bad luck, I know that, but this is a great deer, and it worked the first morning, but it all paid off because of my scouting. And we walked you through everything that happened, and everything was perfect. But you take one of those pieces out of that puzzle, and this deer might not have been mine this morning. But I found out where the white oak acorns were. I walked my border fences and found where the deer were coming across. I found the perfect tree. I found all my trails that were intersecting. I placed my tree stand up, anticipating the shot where I'd be able to draw it back. I also had the tree and the cover in front of me that would give me cover when the deer walked by, that I could pull back and he couldn't see me. Also, I hunted this stand on a north and northwest wind, which was perfect. And all of these pieces right there, they all went together, and this is the end result. A nice 6-point buck with a bow and arrow. Well, it's been a lot of fun. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to the hunting camp and get my 4-wheeler. That'll make it a lot easier to get this buck out of here, and I got some guys back at the camp I know they'll be glad to help me. But that's the end result. A nice 6-point buck, and the scouting paid off. Let me get on back to camp and get the 4-wheeler. Our next trip will take us to beautiful Alberta, Canada, where I'll be joining up with Neil Cordes of Big White Outfitters. I've taken some nice bucks over the years, but this is one of the best.
This week, Jackie will hunt with guide and outfitter Neil Cordes of Big White Outfitters. Let's join Jackie and Neil as they get ready for this week's hunt.
Hi, folks. Welcome back to the show. I'm with Neil Cordes of Big White Outfitters. Neil, second time for the Buckmasters. September. We're going to try a little different from November, so I know the rut's not on, but you told me on the phone we're going to be hunting around some food sources, things like that?
Yeah, we'll be hunting the alfalfa fields and the oats and the water holes. It's been real dry, so we're going to be hunting around the dugouts.
Yeah, I've never hunted around the water holes, but you mentioned, you know, deer travel a long way to water. Where I'm from, you know, we got creeks and streams, so they really don't have to travel very far.
Yeah, we don't have that many water holes. It's been real dry up here.
All right, so as far as the afternoons, we're going to try to place our stands on the edge of the alfalfas and the oats, and in the morning stands try to get back in the thickets, try to catch them coming back out of the fields, huh?
Right, basically a morning and evening hunt.
Okay. Critters. You mentioned also we've got little different critters running around besides the whitetails. What else could we see up here?
Well, we got moose and black bear.
Black bear.
Yeah.
That's what I was worried about. They're still out this time of year?
Oh yeah, they'll be out for another month.
Let's try to position our stands away from the bears. I've been bit by rattlesnakes. I've been chased by mountain lions. The last thing I want to do is see a bear up here.
We'll stay away from the black critters.
Okay. All right, you mentioned we got 2 fixed position stands you want to take a look at, and then you've got another place for the tree climbing stand?
Yeah, we're going to go set this one.
Okay. I also want to take a shot. I brought me some foam here to take a practice shot. Okay, we're right down the road?
Yep.
Okay. This is one of our stand locations right here.
Yeah, right in this channel here.
Yeah. What's this now?
This is the major bedding area back here.
Yeah.
This is the oats. This is where they feed.
This is oats right here.
Yeah. There's
Okay.
some main trails going back here, the dugout.
Yeah. I see, golly, it's really tracked up right here. I see a trail coming all the way through here. Oh, I see you got one stand right up there. Oh, okay. And you said the water's that way too?
We're even rubbing right here, see?
Yeah.
Hitting a few trees.
Oh, sure is.
Some real good tracks in here.
So we're right in their path. And so I got a good shot here, about 20, 25 yards max of that stand. Okay. All right, well, let me get up there. If you'll put this down, you know, just put it out here about 20 yards, and let me take one practice shot. And then let's go put up the tree climbing stand. That's good, Neil, right there. Okay. Let me just take one shot. It's right in the middle. Yeah. It's on. It's on.
Bear.
Big buck?
Big bear.
Big bear?
Big black bear, yeah. Okay. Keep down. Big boar. He's out there feeding on the oats. Look at the neck on that thing.
Good.
Oh, he's
golly, Miss Molly.
He's in prime shape, man. This time of year, they're just glossy.
Is that a male bear?
Yeah, big boy.
You talking about putting my rifle stand down there where that bear come out?
It's a good field. We got moose, bear, deer, everything's in that field.
Bubba.
Huh?
I don't want to hunt around no bears, man, I'm telling you.
They won't hurt. They won't bother.
Look, we got plenty of places. I've been bit by rattlesnakes and chased by mountain lions. Last thing I want to do is be eaten by some bear up here.
They won't mess
If you want to play like grizzly animals in the mountain, man, you can have that. I don't care nothing about it. You stay out here and play this bear. I don't feel very comfortable.
As long as he doesn't stand up, you're okay.
Uh-oh.
He's standing up. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Jackie. Jackie!
You can have it. You can have it.
When you're hunting, no shot is this clear, or this clear, or even this clear. At dawn or dusk, real-life targets are hard to see, even with binoculars and scopes, unless they're made by Nikon. Nikon scopes are built for a tough hunt. They maximize the available light and make all your sightings sharp. So real-life targets seem as clear as if they were on paper. For more information, call 1-800-BE-HUNTIN'.
When you're big game hunting, whether in the north or in the south, in the east or in the west, no matter where or what you hunt, Federal's legendary quality, accuracy, and bullet performance are second to none.
When that trophy buck appears, trust Federal ammunition. I do. Take a tip from the Buckmaster. Shoot Federal for the shot of a lifetime.
The time is mid-September, a time when the leaves are turning. A time when the cool northern breeze is more of a relief than a warning of the cold fall and winter days ahead. On this beautiful clear day, Jackie will bow hunt a strip of hardwoods that's almost completely surrounded by oats, a favorite of the whitetail. After applying an odor eliminator and a cover scent, Jackie slips through the woods and into his stand. Very soon after getting into his stand, a doe and 2 fawns appear in the oat field. The doe constantly looks into the hardwoods. Even though they feed in the middle of this small strip of oats, they're always just a few steps away from the safety of the thick cover in the hardwoods. Late in the afternoon, 2 bucks appear, feeding their way from the big oat field down to the narrow strip where Jackie is positioned. Though these bucks are obviously young, they have very large bodies. In a region of North America where the winter can be brutal, only the strong will survive. The deer need plenty of body weight going into the cold season. The young bucks feed toward Jackie, but never close enough for a shot with a bow. The next day is a duplicate of the previous one, and Jackie hunts the same area that he hunted yesterday, except he moves his stand about 50 yards further down the oat strip, where 3 trails intersect. Jackie hopes this new position will be more productive. The only drawback to this position is that the camera will have less visibility because it'll have to be placed further back off the field into the hardwoods. Jackie thinks the deer will appear on the trail that parallels the oats, or on the trail that leads from the hardwoods behind him to the field in front of him, or straight in from the large oat field down the thin strip. With the wind blowing from Jackie's right, out of the east, the conditions are perfect to hunt from this stand. With mostly sunny skies and a light to moderate breeze, Jackie decides to rifle hunt on this, the final day of the hunt. Secure in his stand, the hunt is on. Soon a group of deer appear at the point where the big oat field meets the thin strip of oats. A small buck appears on the edge of the oats, with several other bucks behind him in the hardwoods, out of view of the camera. Then, to Jackie's right, from the hardwoods, a doe cautiously makes her way toward the feeding area on the trail that parallels the oats. So far, the deer are doing exactly what Jackie and Neil predicted they would do. The doe seems to be alarmed when seeing the other deer feeding in the oats. The doe studies the other deer and tests the wind for any foreign odors. Finally, the doe makes her way toward the field, but Jackie notices movement several yards behind her. A huge rack buck is following the doe on that same trail. Though Jackie has a clear shot at the buck, he has no idea that the camera can barely see him. Keep in mind that the buck presents a clear shot for Jackie, even though the camera can't see him clearly. So Jackie makes one good shot.
Oh man, what a buck. Gee whiz, what a deer. Look at him. Hey, down here. Ah, still shaking. God, I knew he was good. I didn't know he was this good. How about this deer?
All right.
Hey.
That's what we were after.
I'm telling you. Isn't he a beauty?
Oh, beauty.
Man, what an interesting day.
Deer.
I
Good
had about 5 or 6 bucks came out, and he was the last one, just like it usually is on the big deer. But look at the color on it. I'm so used to, you know, to...
He's a good high rack, isn't
Oh,
he?
man.
He's not real wide, but he's a heck of a rack.
Yeah, look how heavy he is on a...
Just starting to rub, too, you notice?
Yeah.
This is rubbing on the alders, this orange stuff.
I got you. He's probably just in velvet not too long ago.
That deer's got to go 160.
You reckon? That's what I was going to ask you.
He'll gross 160.
160.
Yeah.
Gee.
Long beam.
Long beam.
Long face, it's an old buck.
Yep.
He's got a big old fur on him, too, doesn't he?
Body weight, he's got to be over 300 pounds.
Well, he's pushing 300, yeah.
But I've never seen, you know, because we never had the opportunity to hunt him in September, but, you know,
Beautiful.
Yeah, the coat and everything, not the winter coat.
Good job.
You're good, man. I told you I was going to be patient. I was real patient. And I tell you, you know, guys up here get a chance to go bow hunting, you know, have an opportunity of something like this walking out, and I was just fortunate to be able to take this deer. At the last day, it was the 4th quarter. I tell you what.
On the last day, you guys make us work.
I know it. I know it. Well, I tell you what. Let me get his tag on. If you go back to the truck, we'll take him on back to camp.
Sounds good.
All right, man.
Host facilities for the Buckmasters were provided by Big White Outfitters of Alberta, Canada. For more information, contact Neil Cordes at 403-931-3942.
Our next trip takes us to Pine Mountain, Georgia, where I'll meet up with my good friend, Realtree founder Bill Jordan, and also Bubba.
Folks, welcome back to the show. I got my good friend Roy Conine of Rattlers brand back again. I don't know why, but you're back again. This
It's your favorite part, isn't it?
I don't like this part. I don't like it at all. Roy, welcome back to the show. We got a tip for our hunters out here again today, correct?
Sure do. This time of year during bow season, you go in the morning, snakes are moving around, they're getting toward the trails where they can eat. You need to wear some kind of snake protection. If you're fortunate enough, the snake may rattle for you, in which case, if he does, stop, don't move in a hurry, identify where the noise is, and move out of the way and let him have his own room.
So,
however, if you're going through and you can't hear one, then you need the chap zone.
Right, so we got to make sure we got the chap zone. But coming down, got to identify the noise first.
Right, and then slowly get out of the way.
No sudden movement.
A sudden move would be more likely to invoke a strike than just a slow move.
Okay.
See, I've had that happen to me many a time.
That's a great tip.
Go on, ease up.
I don't want nothing to do with any snakes.
Hey, Jackie, we got somebody coming up through the woods here.
Oh gosh, it's Bubba. Hey, this is perfect. This is perfect. Bubba, what are you doing?
Jackie, how you doing? Bill Jordan.
Hi, Bubba.
How's it going?
How you doing, buddy? Hey, you want to be on television?
Sure.
You're not afraid of snakes, are you?
No, heck no. I got beef in my biceps and nails in my knuckles.
Well, look, we got our snake chaps right there. I'd like you to get in there, and the audience, I know, would love to see the snake strike them because that's what they're made for.
That's right. I just bought these, see there?
Yeah.
Just got them at the store.
Well, let me
hold that bow
hold
for
that
you,
bow
Bubba,
for you.
and Try these snakes out for us.
Come on, ease on in there a little bit.
Sure.
Sure. I mean, you told me you were the king of the wild and all that good stuff.
Well, sure, I'll
Ease on in
just
there.
stroll nonchalantly on up there.
Ease on in there. This will get rid of it. This will get rid of it. You sure you're not afraid of snakes?
No.
Oh, I thought you said you weren't afraid of snakes.
Well, most of them.
Okay. That's a small rattle. Isn't that a small one, Roy?
Small rattlesnake.
Just a small one. Small. Ease on up there.
Come on, Bubba. He's not that mean.
He's not that bad. Nice looking rattlesnake. What are you shaking for, Bo? Oh! 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 Bubba, where are you going? Get rid of it.
See you, Bubba.
You want to go get him?
Nah.
Nah. That idiot. I told you that would work. He won't ever want to be on TV.
That's great.
Now on with the hunt. The rain has cleared, and Jackie decides to hunt an area he thinks the deer will travel through on their way from the feeding area to the bedding area. He places his stand in an area where 3 trails combine to form one trail that leads to the bedding area. If the bucks travel on that trail, Jackie will have a perfect 20-yard shot. The wind conditions are perfect for this stand, blowing from where the deer will hopefully be coming from. When entering the woods this week, Jackie applied a scent eliminator and attached a drag rag soaked with dominant buck urine to his leg. Now let's join Jackie on a morning hunt. Very soon after getting into his stand, deer begin to appear. A small buck comes in front of Jackie. Then from behind, a nice rack buck eases through to the bedding area. The woods come alive with activity, but only small bucks and does appear for the next couple of hours. A great Georgia 10-pointer is visible, making his way through the thick cover to the bedding area. Hopefully, he'll come within bow range for Jackie. The huge buck stays in the thick cover, just out of bow range. In hopes that another good buck will appear, Jackie stays on stand for a while longer, only to be visited by a young buck. Host facilities for the Buckmasters have been provided by the Callaway Gardens Hunting Preserve in Pine Mountain, Georgia. For information about excellent Georgia whitetail hunting, call 1-800-282-8181.
The best way to select a hunting boot is through the process of elimination. First, eliminate any boot that carries a human scent. Next, eliminate any boot that isn't 100% waterproof. Finally, eliminate any boot that isn't warm or comfortable. What you have left is the new LaCrosse Buckmasters, the best hunting boots money can buy. See them at your LaCrosse dealer today.
I've hunted with a lot of great bows over the years. Bows by Bear, Pearson, Hoyt. But when it comes to arrows, I stick with the Easton XX75. It's strong and straight, tough as nails, and it's got that made in the USA quality I can depend on. I've had a lot of favorite bows over the years, but only one favorite arrow.
Our next hunt takes us down to South Texas, where we get lucky and get a nice buck. I'll be joining up with Buckmasters Whitetail Management Consultant, Bob Zaiglin.
Good enough. Looking dead on.
Huh?
There you're on.
We've been
That'll
traveling
work.
so much. Want to make sure we got it where we needed it.
Well, it's good to shoot that gun before we go.
Well, Bob, this is what, our 5th year back here at
Fifth
the
year.
Harrison Ranches?
Yeah, maybe even be the 6th. I'm not sure. It's been a while.
Time flies.
Well, I'll tell you, we're both getting younger. Anyhow, we're going to have a good time this week.
What's in store? What you got happening?
Well, we got a lot of new stuff. You know, you're going to see some open country. We've been doing a lot of roller chopping and opening up some country, and you're going to see a lot of deer on it. And we're going to do some rattling like we always do.
Good. Always
So,
look
you know,
forward to
those two things are going, and the food plots, of course, hunting those.
Have you got any rain down here?
About, we've had great rains this spring and early summer. And
that ought
then
to help the horns.
Yeah, all our antlers are excellent this year. We got...
'Cause last year it was real dry.
Yeah, we had no oats last year.
I remember that.
You know, but this year we have some good oats, and I think it'll be pretty nice. It'll be pretty interesting anyhow. We'll have some fun. We've been seeing a lot, like I said, a lot of good deer, and, you know, like...
Are the bucks chasing the does yet?
To a degree, but we're a little premature of the rut. But it can kick in with the weather changes we've been going through. It could kick in a little earlier, but it's still, we're premature.
The bucks starting to make the territory?
Yeah, well, the neat thing about it is some of these big deer we've been watching are really tearing up the brush and marking. So, you know, stuff like the tarsal gland I told you about, we'll be trying some of that. I really enjoyed monkeying with them with that. It's pretty neat. So we'll be doing quite a few different things, and just like always, having a good time.
All right, well, good deal. All right, I'm going to bring the four-wheeler down. You want me to meet you down at 29?
Yeah, I'm going to take the truck, and I'll show you some of that roller chop country,
Okay.
and then we'll go up to 28 and 29.
All right, if you'll take the spot and scope and
yeah, got it.
the phones and everything, I'll get
All right.
the right. I'll meet you down there at 29.
All right, I'll get the bags, too. Amazing, huh?
Yeah, pretty right.
Oh,
Hey,
it
it's a
is.
lot different.
Yeah, I guarantee you can see now.
Man, y'all open this thing up.
Well, with the roller choppers, we cleared a lot of country, the young men that work for me, and boy, they've done a heck of a job. Heck of a job.
Roller chopping is what you were telling me.
Yeah, well, basically all it is several rollers that are attached behind them and pulled by a dozer. And these rollers are just gigantic things weighing 10 to 20,000 pounds apiece. Roll over this stuff and grind it up and knock the brush back and create a lot of edge for the deer.
Yeah,
and quail, you know, a lot of
that come
brow,
out.
you bet. And it's just like a clear cut in your part of the country.
Yeah.
And really enhances the quality of vegetation and the visibility.
Well, I noticed here, you know, you got a big intersection where it's like about a mile down this way and a mile this way. I know you can't put your conventional tree stands up, so you're using some of your box blinds here on the corners and some tripods?
Well, basically, we don't knock out any of the bigger trees. Boy, you hear those jets?
Yeah.
We're right in the middle of area where they train a lot,
Oh,
so we're gonna hear those. But they don't bother the deer. But we don't take out the big trees, Jackie. We lay those, leave those be, and we'll put blinds in those things, and you're well concealed. Works pretty good.
I got you.
But anyhow, we're gonna have some fun on these. Should see a lot of deer this week on this stuff.
All right, now you mentioned we want to go to some of the oak plots and take a look at that, some of the scrapings going
Yeah, I
on.
think right up here we got 2 plots, smaller ones, but bucks are coming into them, checking them out now, starting to make scrapes. I'll show you some scrapes up here at 28.
All right.
And I'll just meet you up there with the truck.
I'll bring the 4-wheel.
Okay.
All right. Now this is what, oak field number
29.
29.
And you can see that the oats are starting to come out pretty, pretty good.
Yeah, I was
following the rain.
watching the weather report, and you did get some good rains a couple of weeks ago.
And even though it's a little premature for the deer to be hitting these patches, real hard because we just got the oats up. The bucks, the good bucks, are coming in, and they're
just marking their territory.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, we got a good scrape right over there.
Right over here.
Yeah, and I've got it set up with a tarsal gland, and we'll refresh that this evening as well as one down at your place, and ought to be increase our chances.
Let's take a look at this scrape real quick.
Okay.
Boy, Bob, they were really tearing this up, aren't they?
Yeah.
So you've got your tarsal gland up there.
Yeah, well, what I'll do this evening, I'll come back in. I got another one that's soaking.
Yeah.
And I'll just change them. I used to them anyhow.
I'll tell you what, a lot of people, don't know how to use a tarsal and things like that. But boy, I mean, in Alabama, where you could get a deer a day, I used to just take the tarsal off the buck that I got that afternoon and use it. But a lot of states only have one, so being able to purchase the tarsal gland, because it makes so much sense. I mean, it's territorial. I mean, they can smell it. They come in. They think another buck's in their territory.
Well, it's an infringement.
Sure.
And they're going to come into that. But even if they don't come in, they're going to hesitate when they come by it.
Sure.
As well, give you that second or so.
And a lot of times they might not just come and just tear this up. They just might, get in a frenzy and go make
but
other
you can
scrapes.
see here, this tore up branches.
Oh, yeah.
You can see this one's pretty fresh, and this deer's been working this, and I've got some pretty high hopes for this field.
And you're going to let me come hunt this afternoon, aren't you?
No.
Huh?
No, that wasn't the deal. You're hunting at 28, I'm hunting at 29.
That's what I really like about my guide here.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go get a bite to eat. I'll take the four-wheeler back to the camp, and then we can see if we can get out this afternoon.
Shooting champion G. David Tubb knocks down targets 5 football fields away all day long. Tubb has won the NRA Hunting Rifle Championship 8 times with a stock Remington Model 700. And in a 93 high power event where you can shoot any rifle at any price, he and his stock 700 won again. You may never shoot in Tubb's league, but your Model 700 can, right out of the box.
The newest, most effective way to call trophy bucks is to bleat like a mature doe that is in estrus. This is the exciting new Woods-Wise buck and doe combination call. It features a dominant buck grunting reed on one end and the revolutionary new estrus doe bleat reed on the other end, making this the most effective deer call for the serious hunter on the market today. Look for the buck and doe combination call along with a complete line of Woods-Wise deer calls and horn rattling products at a dealer near you.
Now let's join Jackie and Bob as they try their luck horn rattling.
God, Bob, I tell you what, the temperature seems like it's dropped in the last 20 minutes, hasn't it?
Man, you've seen a Texas Blue Norther just roll in, but I tell you, with it, the deer activity ought to pick up too.
Well, you want to try some rattling?
Yeah, what I was thinking about is back in here a few hundred yards. Maybe we could go in here, there's a wagon wheel, cleaned out area, it's like spoke, cleaned out from brush. We could try to rattle in there, it's pretty effective.
Okay.
Let's go try that.
All right, sounds good to me.
That's this morning.
Yeah, that looks real fresh.
Yeah, well, we're not far from the field, so.
It's tearing up the limbs and everything.
Yeah, they're in here. There's lots of buck sign in here.
Does this little road right here lead into it?
Yeah, what this road does is it'll go right around the corner here, and we're about 5-10 minutes from the site.
Okay.
And these deer just leaving there.
Just scraping on the edge.
Along the ways to that, yeah. Let's go.
Okay.
Well, you said it was a little early, but hey, we got 2 spikes and a young 8-pointer in.
Yeah, they're pretty naive. They're coming in pretty quick.
You noticed that 8-point. He didn't want to move out of that corner right there, and he just kind of stayed along that edge with that little spike
It looked
buck.
like his feet were stuck in scenic.
Yeah, that little spike buck came on in a little bit.
Well, when he looked back, I thought maybe a pretty good buck could be coming in behind him.
Yeah.
You know, about another week or so, it's gonna be in. The weather's good. I mean, it's sudden drop in temperatures.
Oh man, we'll go back and get some warmer hats.
Yeah.
That little spike back over here, he caught me. I wasn't even paying attention to this little strip right here.
And those javelinas were coming across right as he was there. Ah, yeah. Well, let's go try a couple more spots and see what luck we have.
Sounds good to me.
After a good morning of horn rattling, Bob will hunt an oat field, and Jackie will hunt a roller chopped area near Bob this afternoon. Bob puts a fresh tarsal gland over an active scrape on the field that he plans to hunt. Soon after getting into his portable ground blind, the whitetails begin to appear. Suddenly, a huge buck comes into the field, heading directly toward the tarsal gland that Bob put up. Then, the buck heads for another scrape nearby. As the buck works the scrape, Bob gets ready for the shot. Hopefully, the buck will continue in the same direction, as that will give Bob a perfect shot.
Ho, Jackie, over here.
You lucky dog, you.
Look what we got down here.
God.
My gracious, look at this. Is this a pretty animal or not? My lamb.
It's not big enough. I'm going hunting.
Oh, yeah, right. The only
God.
problem with this deer is you didn't shoot him.
Look at man, I was sitting
What
up
a
in the
deer.
blind, and I saw that deer go across
man.
the roller chop up there, and I saw how wide he was.
Oh, man, he's at least
He must
22.
have
He
come
might
in
be
right on top
23
of it.
wide. But you know, he came in right there to where the tarsal gland was, right behind it. Went up to another one. When I saw him, he went up to another one and tore the brush up.
Making scrapes and everything?
Making scrapes. Made 2 scrapes in there and was just about to exit the field. Never came in to eat oat. Just was going to take off. And
Did you
I
see
lucked
any
out.
other deer?
One, little spiker came
Really?
out there right on the edge there. Oh,
How
it was
about
something.
Golly,
Man,
look how
at
wide he is.
Look at the double forks on him.
Oh,
man.
man.
He's a pretty deer.
I'll tell you what, he's right at the
Oh,
the
that's
record
one of
book.
the. Oh yeah,
Is this one of your best deer?
That's one of the. It's getting up there.
No
That's
wonder
a
you didn't want me
beautiful
to
deer.
come to this patch.
Yeah, what? Yeah, I just man. Wow, can't believe this could
Golly.
happen.
Unbelievable. Look at that right there.
All I gotta say is I got all season to go, and you have something like that, I guess I'm gonna have to hold back real tight this year.
I tell you what, that is a
Woo,
buck of
what
a
a
lifetime.
deer.
Hey, congratulations.
Hey, thanks.
I always like to be a man when he
Wow.
gets one of his best.
Man.
I'll tell you what, I brought the four-wheeler halfway.
Great.
Let me go back and get
Okay.
the four-wheeler, and I'll be right back.
Good deal.
What a buck. Unbelievable.
The next afternoon, as Jackie and Bob make their way to the oat patch where Jackie will be hunting, Bob notices movement across the field. A great 10-point buck is already in the field, earlier than our hunters expected, feeding on the oats and checking his scrapes. The hunters quickly and quietly move up to the fence, where Jackie can get a good rest.
Oh man, Bob, look at this deer right here. Look at this buck right here.
Is he pretty or is he
Oh
pretty?
man.
What a spread. What a spread. It's got some,
Look
some
at him.
broken points.
Broken off his brow tines.
My gracious, is that a
I
pretty
tell you what, we
He's
were.
been rubbing. Looking back.
I know, right in the scrape.
Wow.
We were late.
Yeah.
Just goes to show
Too
you, these
late,
deer
we-
are moving in on these fields on
Yeah.
a full moon early.
Yeah, he was early. What? It was about 2:40.
2:40.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. But that was a heck of a stalk. We couldn't even make it till
Well, I tell you
about-
what, you know, I had a long shot, but I had to crawl up to that fence so I
Oh,
could get a good
excellent
rest.
rest.
And if
Yeah.
that's the main thing, is I didn't want to take the shot unless I had a
Oh,
good rest.
That is beautiful.
He's been tearing the trees
Yeah,
up.
he's been
everything.
working it. My gracious, what a deer.
Great buck.
Wow, look at that spread. Isn't he
Yeah.
some?
Well,
Well, good. I tell you what, congratulations,
Hey,
Bush.
it's been a great week.
Yeah.
Can you
Well,
believe
yeah,
that?
I tell you. Let's go ahead and,
I'll go back and get the four-wheeler.
yeah, because we got
It's a long job.
ways.
Okay. You stay here with him.
Wow.
I'll go back and get the four-wheelers, my deer, so I'll make the jog. Great buck, though.
Man.
Gee whiz. Heck of a way to do it, too.
Boy. Fine deer. Look at the palmation.
I know it.
Son of a gun.
Gee whiz. Don't let the coyotes come.
See you in a minute.
I'll be back.
Host facilities for the Buckmasters were provided by the Harrison Ranches. For great Texas whitetail hunting, contact Bob Zaiglin at 210-278-8815.
Our next trip takes us back to Alabama as we're bow hunting later in the season.
Folks, today we're going to be bow hunting in Alabama swampland. You know, early in the year we were doing a lot of bow hunting around the white oaks, and that's because they were dropping at that particular time. And that was in October. Our season came in on October 15th. Now it's November 28th, and the white oaks are already dropped. The deer have already cleaned them up. Now I'm changing my strategy. Now I'm looking for the water and the willow oaks, which drop a little bit later, and they are really on the ground, as I'll show you here in a minute. But I'm going to show you the reason why I put my tree stand in this particular place. Now, as I mentioned before to you, when I bow hunt, I like to get my stand in what I call a funnel. And this is surrounding different bedding areas where it comes to a point which will give me a shot no further than 25 yards. Now, as you can see right here, the direction I just came in, there's a clear cut. It's a great bedding area back there with a little oak thicket right along the edge of the swamp right here. Now, if we move over here, you'll see when we cut across that little lane right there, we pick up the bamboo thicket, another good bedding area for the whitetails. And as we keep coming all the way around, you're going to see this is like a little hole in the middle of the swamp. There's another little oak thicket right here running up the edge of the swamp, okay? So I put my stand right here at the point where all three thickets come together, okay? Come on, let's show you what a water oak or what they call a willow oak looks like. All right, here's what I call a water or willow oak. These are the acorns right here. They're a little bit smaller than the white oak that we normally like to hunt. You can see right here, something's been eating on that. That's what's called a water or willow oak, and these are predominant all over the country, especially in the swamplands here in the south. But one thing you want to pay attention to, no matter what part of the country you're from, is paying attention to the food sources and when the deer are eating the food sources. A lot of times you place your stands up early in the season, the deer are all in there, and you can't figure out why they're not there later in the season. Well, this is what you got to pay attention to. And when I'm hunting around the white oaks, when they're dropping a little bit earlier in the year, say in early October, once the deer take all the white oaks and clean them out, then I start coming looking for the other acorns that are dropping. And this, in my part of the country, is the water and the willow, and that's what they like. So make sure you pay attention to that, because your scouting is extremely important if you're going to be a successful bow hunter or rifle hunter or muzzle loader hunter, whatever type of deer hunter you are. You've got to pay attention to that and adjust to that. Okay, let's look at what a water or willow oak looks like. It's real kind of grayish, slick bark. And look at the leaves. And here again, depending on what part of the country you're from, you know, ask your local wildlife biologist, you know, what particular acorns, trees that you have and that are dropping and what deer like to feed on. Now, I've showed you basically our strategy this morning. I like to put my stand in the funnel. You see all the little thickets that surround it. These deer can come in here and feed. If there's any danger, they can make 2 leaps, 3 leaps, and they're back in safety, back in their bedding area.
After using an odor eliminator and cover scent, Jackie and cameraman Pat Gregory hunt in the swamp the next morning for the elusive Alabama whitetail. A yearling feeds near the tree where Jackie is sitting. Then a doe feeds right under their stands, totally unaware of the presence of the hunters. A small rack buck feeds about 50 yards from Jackie on the other side of some trees and brush.
We've seen a lot of deer this morning. The wind's been tough on us, but when you're hunting in the swamp, you got so many different directions that they can come from. It just happened early that these deer came downwind from us, and they smelled us. But these other deer, we had the wind right on them. That one little buck, he just stayed out of range. Wouldn't present the shot. Wait a minute, wait. Here comes a deer right here.
A rack buck makes his way toward Jackie, feeding on the acorns and moving toward the point of the funnel, which will present a shot of no more than 20 yards, just as Jackie had planned.
It's a good shot.
Jackie approaches the buck from behind and touches it with his broadhead to confirm the good, clean shot.
Tell you what, old fella, you gave me a lot of weight. Tell you what, it was a lot of fun this morning. We'd seen one other little buck. We saw a lot of does. In fact, I was really kind of calling the morning over with when I was just looking straight back behind me, and here he come, and it was about 10 o'clock. And he came in. He was feeding on the little water oaks. And one time I drew back, and there was one little limb. And you know, when we were putting our stand up, and we were cleaning all our limbs out and trying to make all our shots possible, I said, doggone it, I guarantee you that limb right there will cause us some problems. We just couldn't get up and cut it. And doggone if he didn't walk right there where that limb was. And I drew back on him. Then he walked right behind a little tree, and I couldn't get a shot. So I had to let it back down. He started walking away from me, and I thought it was really over with for the morning, but he circled back, you know, where the acorns were, and he gave me a good broadside shot at about 20 yards, and made a good shot on him. And this is just the end result. But I tell you what, it's just the anxiety of waiting and waiting and waiting for bow hunting. So completely different with rifle hunting, and try to let them get in within 20 yards. And you know, we were set up this morning, and you know, with the northwest wind, and all the deer seemed to be downwind from us. They were all blowing at us, and I just didn't think there was any way with the deer blowing at us this morning we'd see any deer. But these deer came from the opposite direction and gave me a good shot. And this will be one buck I'll remember.
PSE presents 21st Century Performance priced for today's bow hunter. Introducing the new Infinity Series, the most advanced line of bows ever developed. We've matched superior design features to the performance of a precision machined riser. PSE Engineering has achieved a dynamic balance of grip location and rest position with our new centerline design. This design improves aiming and accuracy. It also makes tuning any Infinity a breeze. From the LB2000 to the SRL 500, you can see the difference. You can feel the power.
TrueFire, hunting success in the palm of your hand. The classic caliper is smooth, accurate, and fast. The classic caliper features a genuine leather strap, a true rotator, and a shortened body for ideal shooting length. TrueFire's classic caliper locks to your bowstring without touching the trigger. TrueFire, hunting success in the palm of your hand.
On this next trip, we're going to teach you a little bit about scrape hunting. It's one of my favorite ways of hunting, and we get a nice buck doing it.
This week, Jackie Bushman hunts the Alabama whitetail his favorite way, scrape hunting. Let's join Jackie as he shows why he's chosen to hunt in this location.
This right here is a scrape. It's on the edge of a field, which is like a nighttime feeding source. You can see where he's been nibbling the branches. You can also see which direction he is scraping. He's coming from this direction because the leaves are brushed back this way. If you pay attention to these things, these are just a lot of the little clues that will give you some ideas of where the deer are, where they're coming from. But I call this a secondary scrape. I wouldn't place my tree stand here. Now that's not saying that this deer's not going to come here in light, but I am betting, in all the luck that I've had scrape hunting, which is one of my favorite ways to hunt, I've had a lot more luck hunting in the thicker areas because it makes sense. Secondary scrapes are, say, along fields, along open roads, things like that. What I call a primary or breeding scrape is going to be a scrape that's closer to the bedding areas, thicker places where these deer can actually come check these scrapes in, you know, the middle of the day and also feel secure. Man, it's thick in here. Found a couple of scrapes back there. Here's another one right here. How about that? All right, and as you can tell, I'm really in the thicket now. Now we have our hardwood strip. This is some thick little hardwoods right here. This is all a sage kind of clear cut with pines, and over about 100 yards in front of me is another hardwood strip. And I found about 2 scrapes on up there about 100, 200 yards apart, and here's another one right here. And he has just put this down in the last few days, so they're just starting to scrape. As the rut intensifies, these does start coming to heat, I'll see a lot more traffic. And what I mean by that, I'll see a lot more tracks and droppings and stuff in it. Right now, he's just putting down the scrapes. All right, now, this trail right here is going to cut through to go to this other hardwood thicket. What I want to do now is take this trail, follow it, and see if we can find some more primary scrapes on this other edge. Usually what they do is they scrape this in a semicircle pattern, and I'm going to find my perfect tree, what I call it, to place my tree stand in. Now, a lot of times when you scrape hunt, and I'll bring this up now, is a lot of times the bucks won't come just directly to the scrape. A lot of times they use what's called a scent checking trail, which could be, say, 50 or 100 yards away from the scrape. And if you'll look for these are little dim trails, like just for example right here. This deer could check this scrape, say from 100 yards, if the wind was blowing this way, okay? So the beautiful thing to do is try to find the dim trails going in between these two thickets in this particular situation and try to have your stand downwind of the scent checking trail. But you have to pay attention to your wind direction before you come in and get set up. But let's take this trail right here. I'm going to show you the whole setup, and then we're going to take you on some hunting.
Jackie continues to find scrapes around the clear cut on the edge of the hardwoods.
All right, and here I've got one more scrape right here. I found one more in between the last one. And this right here, about another 50 yards, is really an opening. And we've got a green field on the side of that. So this is really the last scrape that I need to see, because I'm going to move back and put my tree stand up from this one, so I'm going to be kind of in between all the scrapes. But as I mentioned, these deer had not put these scrapes down a couple of days ago, so they're just getting started. So when I see that, that's when I really start doing my scouting. You know, I get out from the food sources, you know, where you might be hunting the acorns and things like that. This is what I enjoy doing. I enjoy hunting the scrapes, because you know there's a buck or multiple bucks. You know, a lot of people think that this is just one buck, you know, making the scrape, or one buck using this scrape. That's not true. A lot of different bucks will use these scrape lines, because what's happening is the does are coming to these scrapes, and they're leaving their scent in there saying they're ready to breed. They'll walk off. The bucks are coming to see if that doe has come in, and you'll see a lot of times when you're hunting, you'll see multiple bucks coming to the scrapes and then trailing that hot doe off. This is what I call the perfect stand for this particular situation right here. Now, I've got my stand set up where I will not walk through the bedding area. I can come through a green field, through some open fields, and get to this stand without making much noise. That's very important also, because really you've wasted your time scouting if you're going to walk through what you think is the bedding area, okay? So keep that in mind. Now we're going to take you on some successful hunts, and you're going to see how our scouting paid off here.
A couple of weeks later, Jackie hunts the area. The morning of the hunt is partly cloudy, with a mild to moderate wind from the east-northeast. A doe appears under Jackie, very close to the closest scrape to the tree stand. Then a spike buck appears, following the scent of the doe. Jackie notices movement on one of the trails crossing the clear cut. A great Alabama 8-pointer is making his way toward the tree stand on the scent-checking trail that Jackie found while scouting. Jackie waits patiently as the buck rubs a tree on the other side of some brush. Finally, the buck begins to move down the trail again. This movement should take the buck to an opening that'll give Jackie a clear shot.
Oh, what a great buck. I'm still shaking. Look at this whitetail right here, Alabama whitetail. That is a great 8-pointer. Man, oh man, oh man. I tell you what, folks, the hours that we have put in this year, they have all paid off, and this is just evidence of it. But I had to wait till the rut started. This particular buck started putting his scrapes down about a couple of weeks ago, and he was doing them in a semicircle pattern. He had some scrapes up here on a pine thicket, and we had some sage right here in little pines. He had another thicket, which he had under a cedar tree, and they all went around in a semicircle. And I placed my stand right in between all the major scrapes right there. I had to hunt this with a east-northeast wind. I couldn't hunt it with a west wind because he would have smelled me, and it just worked perfect this morning, about 9 o'clock. But I tell you, I grunted a few times because these deer, are definitely rutting, and we've been hearing a lot of bucks grunting. So I grunted a few times, and all of a sudden I looked back, and right under the cedar tree where he had one of his scrapes, here he comes. And I could see the tips of his horns, and he started walking through the pines, and I couldn't get a shot. He just was not giving me an open shot, and I'd never want to take a bad shot if I don't have it. But then he got behind some thicket, and then he went and rubbed on a tree, and that seemed like it took him 30 minutes. But once he cleared that, I made a good shot, and this is the end result of a lot of hard work and practice. But if you put your time in and do your scouting, make sure you get the wind right, and learn the difference between primary and secondary scrapes, you can have a lot of luck like this.
Lock On, the oldest name in tree stands, introduces the Contender. Never again will you have to put your stand on the tree at an angle and fight your way into it, or have to set an entire day in an unlevel, uncomfortable stand. Lock On goes on the tree level and stays level throughout your entire climb, even on a tapered or bell-shaped tree. The secret is in the adjustment that allows you to adjust your stand to the changing taper of the tree. Once you see the Lock On Contender, everything else is scrap iron. Lock On, the oldest name in tree stands.
Connecticut Valley Arms has supplied quality and affordable black powder guns and accessories for the black powder enthusiast for over 2 decades. CVA's rifles include the traditional Hawkins-style guns, as well as the popular inline modern styles. CVA's deep groove rifling produces legendary accuracy. CVA has a complete line of accessories, including powerful deer slayer bullets. For a color catalog, send $3 to CVA or call and use your credit card. High performance without the high price. CVA is best for the buck.
Our next trip takes us back to the beautiful state of Idaho, where I'll be joining up with Tim Craig of Boulder Creek Outfitters. We'll get lucky here and get another nice buck.
What is that?
That's a woodpecker, Jackie. He's busy over there, ain't he?
God, listen how loud that is.
He's getting right after it now. Hey, here's that trail that buck's working
Yeah,
right here.
I was seeing that. This is basically the same way he was working last year, Tim.
Yeah.
There's some rubs up here, too.
There you go. Look at that.
You got a couple of them. Boy, look at this one over
that's
here.
a good one, isn't
on
it?
this pine tree. Boy, that's fresh.
Yeah, it is.
Look at that. Boy, he's tearing that up. You know, they must be coming off this hill right here with the direction he's hitting that.
Yeah, he's busy right down here, isn't
That's
he?
a good buck. You know, right up the road up here, there's a crossing. I want to check it out because right over that, he was doing his scrapes up the side right
Let's
there.
go look at it.
Let's see
Take a peek. Okay.
It's good to see good sign around here, though.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, that trail was up here somewhere last year, coming off the hill. There it is.
Here it is, Jackie.
Yep.
Yeah, it's coming off the hayfield, crossing right here.
You know, last year he had his scrapes right up parallel in this thicket right here. Let's see if he's doing the same thing. Boy, there's some mud right here, isn't it?
They've been using it, haven't they?
Boy, look at this trail. See, you got a mixture of cow tracks and deer tracks. Here's a good whitetail track right
there's a
here,
nice
Tim.
buck
Look at
right
that.
there, Jackie. That's a good one.
Boy, that's a heavy buck right there. Look at the size of him.
It's a nice one.
Coming off this hill.
He's
right
heading
here.
over here, probably doing some scraping down this.
Yeah. Well, that's
this
what, you know,
canyon.
he was scraping right along here last year. Let's see he's up here, but I like what I'm seeing right now anyway.
Let's take a look here.
Tim, you see this trail right here? Now, this trail right here is intersecting it. And this is the trail that he was walking on last year, and it was parallel in the thicket right here. And you can see right here, he's got a
There's a fresh scrape right
pretty
here, Jack.
fresh scrape.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too close to it. I don't want to mess it up. I got some rubber boots on here. But if you'll take a peek at it, a lot of hunters out there, you know, they like to scrape hunt, but they don't know the difference between a primary scrape and a secondary scrape. And what I consider a primary scrape is a scrape that has a lot of activity, but it's also closest to the thick areas. A lot of secondary scrapes are, say, on edge of fields and open areas, which I consider are nocturnal scrapes. Also, they always do a primary scrape with an overhanging branch. You can see where he's nibbling off and putting his horns and leaving his scent up there.
Exactly. Yeah.
But if you'll pay attention of which way the leaves are being raked back, it'll tell you which direction. So I'm seeing the rake back this way, so I know the buck is traveling in this direction. Let's do this. Let's go on down here. I know he's probably got more scrapes. Let's circle around so we don't go through the scrape right here.
All right.
Tim, this thicket right here comes to an end. Got some old sage right here, and then it connects to another thicket. We got our big ridge right there. I need to be getting somewhere up in this area as high as possible.
I've got a good rocky point right up here, Jackie. That'll give you a good field of view. You'll be able to see all that basin in there, all that hillside, and your thicket where that buck's coming
because
from.
like I said, his scrape line is parallel in this thicket right here, and I'd like to be able to look down there.
He has an excellent spot there. Let's go up there. I'll show you where she's at.
All right. Man, that was a hike.
I'll tell you. It's quite a mountain, isn't it?
Whew, buddy. You call them hills, I call them major league mountains.
Yeah, this is what you call Idaho, excellent Idaho tree stand here, Jack.
Yes, sir.
You got a field of view, don't you? Beautiful.
Boy, this is pretty.
Covers that whole valley down there.
Yeah.
I got that scrape line working up through there.
I really couldn't tell down there, you know, what the view would look like, but this is perfect because, you know, scrapes are going this way along that thicket right there.
You got the whole valley covered.
Okay.
Excellent spot here to put you to rest. Wind's great.
Let's see
I
right
can't
here.
see where we can go wrong here, Jackie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if I can get squatted down here and being left-handed, this is good.
Yeah.
Because if they come this way, I can get on this rock right here.
It gives you an excellent field of view there, that side.
And then right here, I can
use that
use
old
this.
stump there.
Well, anytime I'm taking a shot over 200 yards, I'll never offhand it. I want to make sure I got a good rest, so.
For sure.
That's a really good stand. Also, see my scent, you know, we're up high enough, you know, that our scent, you know, can blow over the deer, especially in the mornings. I want to try to hunt this possibly in the morning.
Let's give it a shot tomorrow morning. I think it'll work. I can't see where we can go wrong here. A little luck and
well, like I
put
said,
something together.
just looking at the sign right there, because it's all a game, you know, we're just trying to play the game here, but his scrapes, everything that he was kicking the leaves out was going that way, so that means he's traveling this way. All the rubs are on this side of the tree, which means he's traveling this way. So the next thing is being here and hoping he'll be traveling there at the right place in the right time. So.
We're going to need to get in good and early, you know, get in before, way before daylight, and I think it'll work. The wind is great, excellent, right to the face. It's perfect. Let's give it a shot tomorrow, huh?
Sounds good. Will you coming back on your back? That's a high hill,
Yeah,
man.
but that's a lot to ask, no, Jack.
Golly, I did some running before I came out this time.
You can lighten up on your lunch a little if you want to do that.
Oh,
Let's go do it, Jack.
Delta has been Buckmaster's official 3D target for the past 5 years, and now you can obtain one through this special offer. Delta's elite 3D targets provide realistic practice. They feature twist lock assemblies, have tough replaceable IBO marked vitals, and are available in 3 head positions: alert, sneak, and rut. Each made from a self-closing foam that will even stop carbon arrows.
No other target comes close to the quality of the Delta Elite Deer Target. Order one now.
To order a Delta target, send $120 to this address or call 1-800-708-0673. Gerber Legendary Blades continues their tradition of developing innovative products such as Realtree knives and this deer hunting must, the Gerber Multiplier. You can operate this tool with one hand, and it enables the hunter to carry 13 handy tools in one compact design. The Multiplier comes in its own sheath and is available in a glass bead or subdued black finish. The Gerber Multiplier, the toolbox that fits in the palm of your hand. Soon a doe makes her way toward Jackie. With favorable winds and a good cover scent, she doesn't detect the scent of the hunter at all. A small buck makes his way down the ridge across the valley from Jackie. A mule deer doe and her yearling appear about 100 yards from the point where Jackie is positioned. Another small buck appears, this one heading up through the hardwoods, near the scrape line that Jackie and Tim found earlier. Though there has been a lot of deer activity, no mature bucks have appeared. Then, Jackie notices movement in the thicket, in the close proximity of the scrapes found the day before. Hopefully this nice buck will present a shot for Jackie.
Boy, Tim, look at this buck right here.
Well, that's a fine deer there, Jackie.
Oh, man. Look at this buck right here.
Oh, my goodness. That's
for an 8-pointer.
Look at the brow tines on him.
Oh, that's what I was looking at. You know, his brow tines were almost even with his G2s back here. And
he's going to go right in that high in that 140 class for an 8-point.
And a lot of people say an 8-pointer can't be a big buck.
That's a heck of a deer.
That is a heck of a deer. Now, there are 3 great ways to become a member of Buckmasters.
You can join for 1 year and receive 6 exciting issues of the #1 deer hunting magazine, The Buckmasters. You'll also receive your choice of a Blaze Orange or Realtree hunting cap, a vehicle decal, a Buckmasters member automobile tag, and 1 quality scent from Wellington Outdoors. This package retails for over $50 but is yours today for only $20. Or better yet, sign up for 2 years and receive all of this plus 6 more issues of the Buckmasters Whitetail magazine, a member dress cap, and the best of the Buckmasters television series video, a $110 value for just $38.95. Or, best of all, join for 3 years and receive everything you see, plus a 3-inch Gerber lock blade knife and 6 more issues of the Buckmasters Whitetail magazine. Worth over $150, but is yours today for $56.95. Call now 1-800-477-BUCK. That's 1-800-477-2825 and pick out your membership today. Our next trip takes us back to Texas, where I join up with the fine folks of Wellington Outdoors as we try to horn rattle Texas bucks.
Jackie places a tarsal gland that is saturated with dominant buck urine up in the area where he and his guide, Dennis Smith, will horn rattle. Horn rattling is a very effective way to hunt the whitetail this time of year on the Ford Ranch. Jackie also sprays buck urine into the air to try to attract a curious buck. Very soon, a buck responds to the rattling. Let's watch and see how other bucks react to the rattling. Being the first morning of the hunt, Jackie passes on all the bucks rattled up in hopes of an opportunity of a bigger buck later in the week.
Share the excitement of America's #1 deer hunting association. Become a member of Buckmasters. When you join today, we'll send you this new member pack for only $20. Or better yet, sign up for 2 years and receive the new member pack plus a member dress cap, a 2-hour Buckmasters TV series video, and 6 additional issues of the Buckmasters Whitetail magazine, all for only $38.95. Best of all, sign up for 3 years and receive all this plus a Gerber knife and 6 more issues of Buckmasters for only $56.95. Call now, 1-800-477-BUCK.
Don Bell and Wayne Pardee place a tarsal gland over an active scrape in the area they will hunt. Terry Rome will rattle from about 70 yards upwind of the hunters in hopes that when a buck comes into the rattling, he'll circle downwind to investigate. If this happens, the buck should head straight for Wayne and Don. Immediately, a small buck comes into the sound of the rattling. A mature buck cautiously moves in to investigate the rattling noise.
Good buck.
All right. All right, big boy, he's down. Good shot, good shot. Let's get that thing. That'll look good on your wall in Ohio.
Yes, I will. Look fine.
Friends back home, that's where it's coming from. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, there are 3 great ways to become a member of Buckmasters.
You can join for 1 year and receive 6 exciting issues of the #1 deer hunting magazine, The Buckmasters. You'll also receive your choice of a Blaze Orange or Realtree hunting cap, a vehicle decal, a Buckmasters member automobile tag, and 1 quality scent from Wellington Outdoors. This package retails for over $50 but is yours today for only $20. Or better yet, sign up for 2 years and receive all of this plus 6 more issues of the Buckmasters Whitetail magazine, a member dress cap, and the best of the Buckmasters television series video, a $110 value for just $38.95. Or, best of all, join for 3 years and receive everything you see, plus a 3-inch Gerber lock blade knife and 6 more issues of the Buckmasters Whitetail magazine. Worth over $150, but is yours today for $56.95. Call now, 1-800-477-BUCK. That's 1-800-477-2825 and pick out your membership today. Our last trip takes us back to Alabama, as I'm going to show you how we set up on a nice 10-point buck, because we got between the bedding area and the agricultural field he was traveling to.
All right, folks, today we want to give you a few tips, and maybe you can get that buck of a lifetime this fall. All right, now how many of you out there hunt right on top or on the edge of, say, a green field or agricultural field? Raise your hand. I see you out there. Hey, I did it for years. I had some luck, but then during the season, after I'd hunted maybe a week or so, I was saying, where did all the bucks go? Where did they go? All I'm seeing are does. Then it gets dark and it's too late to hunt. But I still was seeing signs, seeing some scrapes and rubs around the field. I know bucks are in the area. Where have they gone? Well, they basically have gone nocturnal because we put pressure on them. All right, this is one of the hardest things for me to do, was to give up visibility. It's the hardest thing for a deer hunter to do, is give up visibility. They feel like they got to see 100 to 200 yards. But this is where your scouting comes in, and you gain confidence in your scouting. Okay, now, this particular situation, I got a real good 10-point buck here. We're getting ready to show you here in a few minutes, but I'm going to take you back from point A to point Z and show you how we got the deer. All right, now, this is the end of December. I've been hunting this particular stand off this green field you know, for a few weeks. The beautiful thing about this situation here today is that the bucks have just started scraping. So we've got our green field, we've got our major trail coming across the creek. We're going to take you back to the bedding area. We're going to show you where we place the tree stand and where the scrapes are. But if you're hunting, say, along some creeks, walk up and down your creeks, and you'll see where the major trails are going across it, okay? Because a lot of times, or if you don't have creeks, just go and find the major trails coming in and out of your agricultural fields, all right? You're going to take that back, and it might be 100, it might be 200, it might be 400 or 500 yards to where the bedding area is, okay? So we got our nighttime food source. We found our major trail here. Now let's go find the bedding area, and I'm going to show you where we placed our tree stand. And also, we had some scraping activity, and we're going to show you how all the pieces of this puzzle fit, making it successful and getting this good 10-pointer we're getting ready to show you. All right, we're getting really close to our bedding area. You just saw the thicket right here. I also picked up one of my primary scrapes, which we've talked about, you know, before in some of the other shows. This is a primary scrape. It's got a lot of activity and it's close to a thick area, okay? Right up here, you'll see my tree stand. And it's right on the edge of the bedding area. And I don't like to get right in the middle of the bedding area. I like to be able to sneak to my stand where I'm not spooking the deer. All right, we are within 50 yards of my tree stand now. This is the last primary scrape that I found on my way to my tree stand. I've placed a tarsal gland right above the scrape. I also put some doe and rut buck lure in the scrape. And all this does is, if you got a buck that's in the area, to get his curiosity within shooting range. That's the main thing.
After applying a cover scent and scent eliminator, Jackie was ready for the afternoon hunt. Very soon after getting settled in the stand, a spike buck walks near the tree where Jackie is located. Very soon after the spike buck leaves the area, a mature rack buck begins to make his way toward Jackie.
Boy, look at this buck right here. Oh man, my heart's still beating. This old rascal right here, he stayed out there about 10 or 15 minutes and I couldn't get a shot for nothing. Boy, look at this right here. He is really tearing the trees up. But he was really coming to the scrapes.